Fuck no. No, that's not true. No, he's still chasing me.
He's chasing me. Oh my god, no shit, I'm running.
Shit, but where is he, damn?
He's there.
He's coming. I feel like he's coming. He's not far, but he's 2 away.
Damn. Quick, he won't be able to get me.
Hop. Shit, he's here. Fuck. The phone. Fuck, where is it? It's here.
Connect, come on.
Connect! Quick, 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 quick! Come on, hurry up, quick, he's coming!
Guys, as you can see, this video is sponsored by Carly's. I finally got rid of my check engine light with its help. For those who don't know what it is, Carly's is a device that actually lets you stay alive by getting rid of those nasty check engine lights that keep chasing you. Thanks to this little device, you'll be able to diagnose your car. If it has even a minor error, it saves you a trip to the mechanic. Plug this into your OBD port, download the app, and with a subscription, you can diagnose your car and find the problem's source. Thanks to Carly's for sponsoring this channel. You can explore all the features, coding, mileage reading, battery health status, directly on their website, all with this little device. I'm putting a promo code at the bottom of the screen in case you want to buy one. Thank you and thanks to them, because it's thanks to all of you that we can keep making videos like this. Now, let's get to the Yukon video. When you buy a somewhat exotic vehicle like this GMC Yukon, it's really important to find out exactly what you're buying. That way, it can help you avoid future problems, and you'll know what to expect. Unfortunately, with this 4x4 for once, that wasn't the case for me. Indeed, maybe I should have looked into what I bought a little more. So no, I don't regret buying this Yukon. Quite the opposite, it's incredible. And it checks all the boxes for the new vehicle I needed. Except there's one thing I hadn't noticed, and it's something I didn't want to have on my future vehicles, and unfortunately, this one has it. And of course, it broke down. We'll come back to that in the second part of this video. But right now, there's something I've been waiting to do for a while because it's been about a week since I received it, and that's my priority. It's the headlights. I can't stand looking at them anymore. They're already dull. I tried polishing them and it didn't do anything. Well, I didn't use the sanding and clear coating technique because I knew I was going to replace them. So, you understand what we're going to do. I received my new headlights, my new turn signals, and the taillights. But especially these ones, they're the most important ones I want to change because they're just unbelievably disgusting. First, I don't know why there are so many white spots here, as if they were poorly polished. They're completely dull, honestly. But this orange, with all these cutouts, it's really not great. So I got these two, and we're actually going to freshen this Yukon up a bit. All right, so yes, I already opened them because I wanted to see what they looked like. And most importantly, I wanted to check the package to see if any of them were broken. And of course, one of them was broken. So buying these lights is really something special because you see what's written there. You can't miss it. It's written in big letters. I bought them in the United States. I checked all the Chinese websites to avoid unnecessary customs fees and high shipping costs for overseas buyers, since China's shipping is cheaper and there are no customs fees. I couldn't find them, so in the end I bought them in the United States, and I had to pay a lot in customs and shipping fees, which is actually pretty funny. These are the taillights, so that's what I chose for the rear. So, I didn't go crazy with LED lights everywhere to completely modernize the vehicle. I just went with more modern lights, as if it were the facelift version, actually. And the two lights you see here, this one and the one over there, cost $40. I paid 150 euros for them. The rest is customs and shipping fees. I'm a bit annoyed, so rear lights, rear lights. I bought this too. The LED third brake light with a black housing. Now, I found this one on AliExpress. It costs 20 bucks, and I think it'll do the job just fine, because it's the same. The third brake light is just an ugly red strip. So, if we can get rid of it, that could be nice. And now the front lights. There were like 50 different models with Audi R8 style LEDs and everything. I wanted something without a daytime running light strip. I went with black housing headlights, so they're more modern. The clear lens and the black background Make the front of the car look a bit nicer and more aggressive. And by the way, this is the one that was broken. And the turn signals underneath are much simpler too. Black background with the clear lens. That's going to look nice. The front lights were $90, I think. And they ended up costing me 200 euros. So, same thing, huh? All the rest is customs and shipping fees. And where I received them broken, actually, I'm a bit bummed. It's here. So, I fixed it before making the video. The mounting bracket was broken. So, I fixed it with windshield glue. Normally, it holds. It's been about a week since I got them and they're dry. It should hold, but it's disappointing to always get broken items. It's a little silly, but it traveled halfway around the world, so I'll be tolerant. So, now you're going to see how to change the lights. That's where this vehicle is really cool. It's just incredibly simple. Technically, you don't even need any tools. Watch closely, it's going to be very quick. On the light here, you have these things that look like bolts, but they're not bolts. You just turn the hook like this. You turn this hook like this. You remove them. You remove them. And then, well, actually, your light comes right out on its own. So I'd already changed the bulbs. I put in LED bulbs so it lights up better, and same thing, to modernize it a bit. We're going to disconnect everything. Since I don't have nails, I used a screwdriver. The front light is now removed. All right, I'll switch back to the camera on my forehead. I think that just for this one, you have to press here. It comes off easily, super convenient. And there you go. So this, we get rid of it. All right, I'll add some protection here to keep things out. It's not ideal, but that's fine. I couldn't add anything else, seriously. It feels like opening a jar of Nutella. We also discussed painting the grille black. I think at first, actually, I'll do this modification first, and then I'll decide about the grille. And that's it. Okay, we're good here. So we put it in like this first. What just fell there? Well, this thing isn't sturdy. I slammed their thing on the ground and it doesn't hold. Damn, it's not spread out enough, but you'll see that if I spread it, I'm gonna break it. I'll make a modification. Okay, actually, this part isn't spread out enough to lock into place. I'm gonna try to put something inside, like some foam, to keep it spread out a bit more. Yeah, well, it's Chinese, you know. There wasn't any American brand anyway that made headlight assemblies like this. So you don't have many options. Actually, what I love is having to do this. Fix manufacturing defects. It's a real pleasure. All right, let's see if it fits better now. Yeah, there we go. Now it won't move anymore. And it looks great. Yeah, I'm happy. All right, now I need to get the whole cable system from the old headlight. Let's remove their protection as well here. Damn, this is really crap, huh? You can feel it binding and everything. It's not great, honestly. The bulb setup isn't great, but otherwise the rest is fine, thankfully. I just hope I won't need to readjust them for height. It looks okay. Okay, that's good. Damn, seriously, America's a crazy place. They couldn't develop proper headlights. For their 4x4s, they had to outsource that to the Chinese. That's why I never want to work with China. Except when I'm not paying for the thing. But since I paid for it, it kind of pisses me off to pay them for something that's, well, not great. It's fine and still looks good. Installation is a bit tricky, and you should be aware of flaws in Chinese parts. Once installed, it looks good. Just a reminder. Not very nice, dull, still. A little classier, yeah. It's completely different now. It modernizes things instantly, no question. The back will be especially impressive. For now, it's good. I'll take a shot for you after I finish assembling the left one with the hood closed. I won't show you the left one since it's pointless. I'll repeat the setup unless something goes wrong. I can make a time lapse if you want. But yeah, it's fine. I'm happy. It's weird. We'll see if it holds up over time. But for now, it's okay. Okay, it's done. I installed both headlights. I had to redo one side because I connected the low beam bulb wrong. Now it's good. That's it. They're installed and all the bulbs are working. Well, I'm more than satisfied. It clearly changes the look of it. And since the headlights are new, well, it makes it look much nicer. So I'm very happy. Well, the only problem is that now I'll have to adjust all the headlights. There you go. With the hood closed, that's what it looks like. Looks much, much better. Well, now you also told me that paint the grille black. I don't know. I'm torn. Honestly, same. Tell me again in the comments now that the headlights are all black. Should I do it? Should I not do it? knowing that it's chrome and there's a good chance it won't hold up very well. So, I don't know, I'm a bit torn. Now, it's already a lot more modern, and the chrome grille, well, that's still typically American, so I don't know. I'm a bit hesitant this time. Anyway, let's move on to the back. And the back normally should be a lot simpler than the front. It's just screws. It fits together. There aren't any mysterious bulbs to change or redo. It should be a bit easier. For the taillights, I'll be going in blind. Same as before, I watched a video for the front recently. For the back, I think it'll be easy since I see 2 screws. I trust the Americans to make it really easy to take off. Same goes for the third brake light. With just 2 screws, it should be quick. Yeah, that's it. There, I like Americans. Thanks. Okay, yeah, there we go, bulb. There. Wait. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. I'm gonna check the difference first because it could easily be this one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so far so good because I feel that, yeah, that's reverse. Well, I don't have the orange turn signals anymore, so I'm gonna switch back to the US red turn signals. Well, that's really cool. I'm telling you, that's not gonna bother me at all because actually, I was wondering why I didn't have the US lights, knowing that it's a vehicle that was never released here. But I had my own little theory, which is that actually, the vehicle isn't American, it's Canadian. So I should check if in Canada they have the US lights or not. At least, are the turn signals red? But yeah, so we're going back to red turn signals. Honestly, I'd be happy about that. So like that, yeah, it's actually a bit easier to install than the front lights. Well, the advantage is that it's a big utility vehicle. So they can afford to do things like that. It doesn't have all those protective covers like on European cars. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, there's still one though. There you go. Let me see. And yes, it's much prettier. Here we have a beautiful modern light, all shiny, all new. And here we have an ugly light, all dull, all dirty. Yeah, it really changes the look completely. It's going to be much nicer. It kind of looks like an Escalade, actually. Well, anyway, it's the same platform, so it makes sense. But yeah, it really modernizes it. Here, I'll turn on the hazard lights just to see what it looks like in red. Yeah. Now it instantly looks American. It's funny. I might need to change the reverse light bulb since it'll be yellow, which isn't very nice. But if I put in a white LED one, well, it'll look a bit nicer. These 2 here, I think I'll leave those 2 as regular bulbs, but for that one, I think I'll put in an LED bulb. That's awesome. All right, I'll do the second one. That's much better now. Well, perfect. The result looks pretty good. There you go, I gave my Yukon a nice touch of yellow. It'll do it a lot of good already. Because all that red, disgusting orange stuff and everything, that's going down to the basement. There you go. All right, I'll pack all this up and talk to you a bit more about the Yukon. So I just put the Yukon in the garage. Well, in the garage. In front of the garage to show you that when you buy an exotic vehicle like this, you shouldn't just look into the mechanics, but maybe also learn a bit and know what you're buying. I bought it a bit too hastily. And basically, for those who know my old American 4x4 that I had before, one from the Ford group, it had air suspension. And I bought it with one of the 4 suspension units was dead. And I had converted it to what you call traditional suspension with springs and shock absorbers. Except that being way too confident, I thought this Yukon wasn't riding on air suspension. Well, actually, the trip with the rear seat was more than catastrophic. That is to say, the vehicle kept swaying. Thibaut and Nico, who were with me, said I definitely had a rear suspension problem. They're shot. So, what did I do? I brought it into the garage, and as a result, I checked all that out a bit. And what a big surprise it was to realize that this vehicle was equipped with air suspension. I didn't want them anymore. So, great. It wasn't a big deal, but it works differently than other vehicles. Here, just under the left rear wheel, there's an air compressor that starts up. The system is high quality, you'll see what I mean. Depending on the weight you put on the hitch or the load in the trunk, it will inflate or deflate the air spring to either stiffen or soften it, and as a result, automatically raise the car in case of a heavy load. And that's the problem we had when we put the trailer on. The hitch was almost touching the ground. And if the system had been working, well, it would have activated and automatically lifted it. So I figured the compressor was dead. Fortunately, I came across a video from an American guy who shows you that in the engine bay, there's a relay, You unplug it, connect two wires together, and if the compressor works, well, you bypass it like that. You force it to run, and it works. But unfortunately, it didn't work. So I took it apart, and here it is. Took it. And yesterday, Nico stopped by the house to pick up something he had forgotten. So we took the opportunity to try to get it running by forcing it on. Except unfortunately, we put the connectors in. We actually put wires into the connector. We tried everything. It didn't work. It just made a clicking sound. So I took the compressor apart. I took apart the part that's here. And the motor was stuck. I managed to get it unstuck. But that didn't mean it started working. And after a lot of research, well, I realized that actually a lot of guys have the problem where the compressor fails. So, well, you have to replace it. So it's not a big deal because you can get the compressor in the United States for $200. But what bothers me a bit more is that it must have not been working for a while now. You know, I'm telling you, a long time. And if I had known it was on R, well, maybe I would have looked a bit more closely when buying it. I mean, when I went underneath yesterday, yeah, all this is from yesterday, you know. Well, look what I found. So I'm going to slide underneath and you'll see for yourself. We haven't checked this vehicle from underneath yet. Well, as for the noise, it's okay. I'm lucky, you know, except for the axle. Like on almost all 4X4S, it doesn't make a sound. And that's where I realized there was a problem. This is the air suspension. The air spring is small, which is why I didn't notice it. There really is a cushion, but it's when I actually saw one day while checking that there was an air connector here and an electrical connector here, I thought, damn, this is bad, man. And actually, yesterday, I saw this, right here. Wait, I'll zoom in and brighten the image. There you go. There, you see, that's my air spring. So, let me tell you, even if the compressor was working, it wouldn't have inflated much. So, you see, it's completely dead, punctured. And it's the same for the one on the other side. So now, I either have the option to convert it to a traditional suspension system, but after doing more research again on different Yukon, Tahoe, suburban groups and all that, the guys who have this problem, they don't convert them. They say that the original system is so amazing when it works that they wouldn't want to switch back to traditional suspension for anything in the world. And especially some people say that even when they put on Blistine, Monroe, or other brand kits, it's still pretty soft. And if I start converting it and it ends up being soft when I'm towing the trailer, well, then I'm going to be upset. Maybe it's better if I keep it like this. So, the goal now is going to be to change the air suspension because the front ones are fine, but I can't really tell if they're air as well. I'm going to go check at the same time as you. So, right now I'm already planning to buy a compressor that goes there, you see. Now, it's not there anymore. I made sure to protect the connectors there since I'm still driving with it and it's not a problem at all. That's also why it's very soft in the back. So I'm going to trust the Americans on this one. I'm going to put it back to stock. Suspension, new compressor, and we'll see if the system works again. I hope it does. And then I should end up with a vehicle that's better for towing and much more advanced, especially since it will automatically level itself. So the video is supposed to end in a few minutes. This wasn't planned at all, but in the meantime, a brand decided to send me new suspension parts and a new compressor for the Yukon. I can hear the Gaulish golems ask, why not use your brand's coilover kit? The Yukon has air suspension that self-levels, and I want to keep that feature. I absolutely don't want to put it on coilovers because that would completely ruin the system and probably spoil all the comfort of the vehicle I have here. So yes, I'm going to install a kit from Max Speeding Road. I'm expecting anything and nothing at the same time. That is to say it could work or it might not. We'll see right away. I chose in stock style line. Obviously, I didn't get coilovers from them. Otherwise, I would have gotten them from my own shop, RWP. But Max Speed are smart at spotting things. When vehicles have issues, they know how to quickly make replacement parts. For example, if you have a vehicle with a fuel pump that often breaks, Max Speed will make a fuel pump for that vehicle. And the coilovers on the rear, well, the rear suspensions of a Yukon are known to give out after a while. Well, quickly, they developed them with the compressor because those also fail, so they can make money off of it. And that's very clever on their part, clearly. All I hope is that they develop them well. So, I received the kit, we're going to install them, we'll test, we'll see if it works again then. And I'll tell you whether or not, even in this field of so-called OEM replacement parts, they're good or not. Now, the hard part is going to be getting this in there so I can work. And well, when you see the size of my garage compared to the mess, we'll give it a try. I think I'm going to try to get it in all the way to the left side so I can work on the right side, then pull it out and switch sides after. So I'll see how I can manage to do that. And if worst comes to worst, and I have to do it outside, well, I'll do it outside. My God, the amount of space this takes up. Well, I don't know how I'm going to manage to film this, but we should be able to do it. I'll try to put it on the jack, knowing I don't have much space. I really don't know if it's even going to be possible. Well, anyway, if I see that it's too much trouble, I'll take it out and do it outside. It's not a big deal. There will be wind, it might rain, but normally it shouldn't take long. I'll try to lift it, well, directly by the suspension. I don't know how I'm going to manage. In the end, there might even be a point where I won't even need to lift it, depending on how it's set up. Well, first of all, in terms of packaging, it was pretty well packed. And now let's see. So this is what it looks like inside, right? So here we have the airbag. Here we have a rubber bushing that's not really put in properly, but we'll fix it. It's a bit pinched. And this one is properly installed. Yeah, that should be fine. Here, I have the connection for my air hose. And here, I have the electrical connection. Okay, so it's very simple to install. There's a screw at the top, a screw at the bottom. The only thing I'm wondering about... Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, well, no, actually. Yeah, it's not going to work. Actually, I wanted to compress it to see if it would fit, to lower it. But it will never fit. I'll have to lift it. I'll do it outside. It stinks. This feels like I'm going to get stuck and be pissed off. Yeah, anyway, we can see better, right? It's still more practical, even for me. So here you can clearly see that the airbag is completely blown out, right? So at this point, it was absolutely useless. It must be completely original. So I have a screw at the bottom, a screw at the top. I take it apart, and normally I should be able to replace it pretty easily. Well, it's going to be a bit of a hassle because actually the impact wrench doesn't fit because of the disc. And here, I really don't want to take off the disc. I'll try it like this. It's okay, it's not too tight. There you go, one done. Well, it was about time, huh? Now we're going to have to use the jack to put the new one on and lift the vehicle. That's going to be a pain. The system isn't really the same, huh? You see, the top here is a lot wider than the one on the max speed and, well, it's welded onto a metal rod. We'll see how it goes, huh? Anyway, if it doesn't work, well, it doesn't work. That's a good line, again. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. There you go. So, start by putting the top one on. There we go, we're good now. Yeah, I'll tighten it afterwards. I need to lift this part up to come and insert the screw. So you put the jack underneath and that's it. This is where all the weight of the vehicle will be on the jack stand. Damn, it's really not reassuring to work on this vehicle. Luckily, there's not much distance to lift. Yeah, well, you see, this confirms that I couldn't have done this inside the garage. Because even lifting it just a little, it would have hit the door. I'll put the jack back for support. Now I just need to screw it in, reconnect everything, and maybe install the compressor since I'm already here. The compressor goes right in front of me. So I compared both compressors. They're not exactly the same, but overall they're the same. I mean, this is the casing. So the compressor casing comes with its mounts. There's even that little plastic mat underneath, which is included just like on the old one. The only difference is the design. And even then, they're pretty much the same. It's just that in terms of the connector, mine uses a round GMC plug. Here, it's a square plug. But I think they did it that way. They provided an adapter that I plugged in to convert it to a round plug. And they gave me a second one with this plug. I think it's maybe for other vehicles. But anyway, it works, right? There's no problem. And they even I didn't know what this was, but it's located under the fuel door over there. It's actually an air filter for the compressor. So if I manage to remove the old one, I'll put in the new one. Actually, I should install the new one anyway, but I need to attach it properly since the old one is poorly fixed. Still, it should work fine once we put it in place. Well, there was a bit of a struggle, but it went well. It's done. The compressor's in place. I changed the filter. I managed to remove the old one. Everything seems well connected, properly in place. I'm not going to turn on the ignition now, because with the other shock absorber leaking over there, I don't know what could happen. But in any case, the left side, which was the most complicated, is done. Figuring out how it worked was the tricky part, and installing the compressor. It's finished. So that's already a good thing. I'm going to put the little plastic cover back on. I'll lower it down, then I'll tackle the other side. I'm not necessarily going to film the other side for you because it's exactly the same thing. It's fine, it's doable. I'll tell you a bit more later because I'm not going to edit this video right away. So I'll give you a little update to let you know whether it works or not. And if it holds up, well, if it works, yes. We'll see together in the video because I'm going to turn on the ignition. I'll show you. But if, after, for example, 1,000 kilometers, I think I'll have had plenty of time to do 1,000 kilometers before editing this video because I have other, more important videos of the cheeser to edit. But I'll let you know. I'll tell you whether or not it holds up, and especially if I notice any difference. Well, that's it. I'm finishing up. I'm going to put it back on its four wheels. For now, there's no difference. What I suggest is that we start it up, and we'll see right away if, when we turn the ignition on, the compressor in the back kicks in. I don't think it's going to inflate, rise up, or anything like that, because there's no load in it. From what I understand, we should hear the compressor. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it the same way with the wind. I'll let you know. For now, I don't hear a thing. I didn't hear anything. We're going to do one last test. This is the connector test in the engine bay. To energize it and get it started at any time, the fuse could be blown too, you know. So here it involves putting in a cable. In there, if I can manage. There you go. And in there, nothing works. Let's check the fuse. Okay, well, the fuse is fine. Actually, that's kind of annoying because now it doesn't make sense that it's not working. All right, I'll be honest with you. I've been working on the problem of why the compressor won't start for an hour and a half. I think I've found it. It's really gotten on my nerves. Because I started by checking the fuse. It's fine. I tested it with the multimeter. There's definitely 12 volts. There's the famous technique here to force it to start. And it doesn't work. I took apart the compressor, I gave it 12 volts directly with the battery that's here, and it worked. So then I thought, there's a problem. I reconnected the adapter. I also gave it 12 volts here. When I powered it directly, the compressor worked. So the issue isn't the compressor. I figured it must be the vehicle's wiring, maybe burned out. After an hour and a half, I'm fed up. It should be good now. I found the solution. I even went as far as connecting a bulb to the Yukon connector and doing the forced start procedure. The bulb lit up. I sat and thought about it. Luckily, I know some basic electronics. If the manual override works, the bulb lights up, and the compressor runs with 12 volts in the garage, the issue must be with the adapter. Something has to be wrong with it. So, luckily I didn't throw away the old compressor. So, I compared the back of the connector on the original compressor with the back of the connector on the max speed in-grade compressor. And then I noticed something. I'll try to make it simple for you. Here, take a look. I'll put them side by side and you'll quickly understand where the mistake comes from. The ground wire is reversed. Here we have the white wire on the left and the black wire on the right. And here we have the black wire on the left and the white wire on the right. So, I think that's where the problem comes from. I'm going to cut them and solder them the other way around, and normally it should work. I'm still going to compare the other cables to make sure there's no other reversal or anything like that. But who knows why the adapter they provide you with is reversed. Luckily, I'm figuring it out as I go. I have a basic understanding of electronics, but someone who doesn't know electronics and wants to install this on their Yukon probably won't be able to do it, even in the United States, for example. They're going to spend a while figuring out the ground is reversed. I don't get it. So is it because the compressor's for an American vehicle and my Yukon is Canadian? Honestly, I doubt it. But here, Max Speed, well, clearly you messed up. So I'm going to switch the cables. We'll see if it works. If it does, well, I'll be happy. However, I'll write to them to request the change because this isn't acceptable. It shows they don't test the equipment or have the vehicles. I switched the two cables. I'm plugging it back in. I'm on the compressor and my dog is here. The compressor's behind. And we'll see if it works. If it doesn't work, Max Speed is going to hear about it. First, I'll yell at them. They made me waste an hour, even an hour and a half now, with all the disassembly, reassembly, and soldering. The compressor is plugged back in. I'm going to force it on. And now we'll see if it works. This whole thing really annoyed me, you know? So, first cable, second cable. Oh. It's working. Damn. Max Speed, honestly, I'm not sure what to think. It's working, but I had to switch two cables, and it took me an hour and a half just to figure it out. So, I'm uncertain. I don't know if I'd recommend buying this brand if your OEM parts fail. Here, there's a 50-50 chance it'll work, or you'll need to modify the original part. I'm not sure what to think. We'll see if the coilovers are good first. As I said, I'll give feedback later. I'll try to do up to 1,000 kilometers. I'm driving it a lot now, especially in the region, so it should happen soon. It pisses me off to honestly recommend a brand to you that doesn't work right out of the box. I'm going to put everything back together first. I'll go for some drives and I'll get back to you in about 1,000 kilometers. All right, it's time for the debrief after a few hundred kilometers with it. I've driven about 600 kilometers with the suspension since I installed them. I didn't go easy on them, you know? I drove on dirt, I drove in mud. So far, nothing to complain about. I noticed that the vehicle is much firmer in the rear, which makes sense, honestly. It adjusts based on the weight in the trunk or trailer. We hooked up the trailer to check for differences. The compressor always kicks in and works with no issues. Obviously, the handling is improved because, in the back, it used to be really soft. And now, I really feel it, especially when I go over speed bumps. Well, it's much firmer than before. So, that's a good thing. Now, as I was saying, if you need a replacement OEM part, would I recommend buying from them? I don't know. I'll let you judge for yourself because I can't really vouch for that, since we don't necessarily know what we're going to get, whether it's good or not. So, I can't vouch for it. For now, the equipment seems to be holding up, but if it's going to be a hassle right out of the box to install it on your car, that's not the point of the operation. So I'm not going to stand behind telling you, buy from them, no problem. In any case, just know that if you go buy a part from them, there's a good chance you'll have to get your hands dirty. All right, now let's meet up in the garage. We're picking up from the first part of the video, where I admit I might go a bit overboard with this Yukon, despite not planning to mess with it. And now I'm going to talk to you about what I really shouldn't have seen about the Yukons. As usual, every time I buy a new vehicle, I join all the Facebook groups for owners. So I joined Yukon, Escalade, Tahoe, Suburban groups, and another more technical group, the GMT 800 group. GMT 800 is actually the name of the platform for this vehicle. Like E36 for BMW, W210 for Mercedes, that's it. And then I started hanging out in the performance and modification section. And I have to admit, well, since I sold my Corvettes, I kind of missed the LS engines, and I'd kind of forgotten just how easy they are to tune. So I went to check out what was available for the Yukon engine, the 6-liter. Because I'm lucky enough not to have the smaller one, the 5.3, I have the 6-liter. So it's an LQ4. Basically, to make it simple, there are the cast iron V8S at General Motors, which are the LQ series. And then there are the LS engines, which are the aluminum V8S, focused on performance that you find in Corvettes, or other sports vehicles, like the Camaro, for example. And the LQ engines are the cast iron ones, so they're more for utility vehicles, trucks, pickups, and so on. But just because they're LQ doesn't mean they didn't make performance parts for them. That means there are guys who went totally crazy with this type of engine. Don't worry, that's not what we're going to do. Some guys put superchargers on them, others put turbos, some even go for twin turbos. It's just wild. Legend has it that the internals can handle 900 horsepower, I don't know. I don't want to try it. But what I've seen are the cheap mods to increase the vehicle's power, and that's perfect for us. There's a guy who made a YouTube video, an American, about the first mods to do to get more performance out of his truck. They call them trucks over there, trucks. I get it, because they're almost the size of a van back home, and the modifications have already started. That means, as you see it now, it's already been tuned for ethanol. Thanks again to Charles from Motorisma who helped me out. He tuned the vehicle while we were loading the cheeser in the back, because we had just tuned it on the dyno at Tubato. I'll show you the clip. You'll understand. So you'll see it in a future video. The cheeser is here. You'll understand why it's on the trailer. We're at Tubato right now. And Charles is also tuning the Yukon at the same time, even though we originally came to map the car that's behind us. You'll see. That's the future. This is the present. Anyway, you'll see. There you go. So that's done. It's been tuned for ethanol. Now, a quick update on the fuel consumption. 24 liters per 100 kilometers. 4 people inside. The trunk is packed to the brim, and the trailer is loaded with an unbelievable amount of weight. The wheels are on the trailer and everything. In short, I couldn't load it more. 24 liters per 100 kilometers, I won't recalculate for you. If you multiply 24 by 70 cents the price of ethanol, it comes out to the consumption of a traditional gasoline sedan. And keep in mind, I was towing. And I think that without towing, I'm between 17 and 20. There you go. So that's about the same consumption I had with the Cayenne, but this one is a bit more powerful. As you can see, I'll keep researching online. And I think we're going to do a few performance upgrades on it. We're not going to go overboard, I'm telling you right now. But right here, there's already a performance part that I bought. It's right here. And I haven't even opened it. And this is a part we're going to install. I think I'll make a dedicated video about it. It's not a big part, but I think it could be interesting. I need to call Tabata to do a dyno run on the Yukon without the part. I'll install the part, and then we'll do another dyno run to see exactly how much horsepower it gains. And after that, well, I saw some kits with... I'm fed up. It's like a sickness. I'm fed up because actually you can't keep a vehicle stock, or at least you can't stop yourself from seeing what can be done. And then, after that, it gives you bad ideas, and you get yourself all tangled up. I went to look at camshaft kits. These engines have only one camshaft, and trust me, changing it gives you much more than just 30 horsepower. We'll also upgrade the exhaust. I'm going to check out the mufflers, since it's not loud enough right now. We're having a loudest exhaust contest with Nico from Bortle and his V8. You'll see who's the loudest. That's the end of this Yukon episode. I hope you like it. Honestly, I'm really enjoying working on this vehicle because it's still pretty easy, inexpensive, and simple in design. Just wait till this vehicle has a choppy idle when it's finished. Have a great day, everyone, and see you soon in the next video.